man, Charlie in the box. Check it out. Look at what I'm gonna have in my box today is gonna be a freight train coming right behind you. You can believe it or not, there is. And I need to share a little bit of what I know with you guys so we can understand, we can jump off the tracks if we want to, right? Okay, see, look at, we are facing some serious problems as Americans. We all share that, the left or the right, the conservatives or the liberals. And all that stuff needs to be put aside, because the only way we fix the problems that we have in America is if we all do this together. See, one thing you need to understand is the kind of country you were given. Why do you salute the flag, or what makes America America? And see, I started to do that, and what I come up with is that we have a balance of power in the United States. The way they set up our government is supposed to be balanced. It is as much money as they spend is how much money they bring in, or the amount of power that the federal government has and how much liberty the people have. And see, it's supposed to be in the middle. Actually, the people are supposed to be free, and we're supposed to have minimum amount of government. And that's what made the United States what it is today. See, when they coming up with the republic, some of your founding fathers didn't want to come up with the republic. They wanted an oligarchy where there's a king and queen governing the people. And because that's what they were accustomed to. Communism and dictatorship, when there's always one person or a group of people always own all the industries, they control all the land and all the resources, and the people, the average people like me and you, were really at the bottom. We were peasants, and there was really nothing that we could do to give to that upper class, only kiss ass to get up there, or if they'd open the door and allow us to get in. So when they came up with the republic, they wanted to come up with the minimum amount of government, and so the people could be free. So they came up with the three-party system. You got your judicial, which is your judges to uphold the Constitution and make sure no liberties were taken away from these other two. The second one is your executive. That's your president and all his cronies. Then you got your legislation. That's your Congress. See, all three of them are supposed to equal each other, just the right amount of balance, but minimum. The federal government is supposed to have minimum amount of power. But throughout the years, the federal government has grown in power, and they've made the country all out of balance because we spend more money than we bring in. Or the amount of liberties that people have, more restrictions and laws and taxes that the government implements on them. So everything is all out of whack because of the actions that our government has put us in today. See, the financial collapse of America didn't need to happen. The loss of your freedoms and liberties by the Patriot Act didn't supposed to happen. So why would our Congress and our judicial and our executive branches do what they do to us now? Because they all been corrupted by corporations and banks. Because as long as they took that money and they signed a solid contract, it really didn't matter what happened to the American people. So what do we as Americans do to fight back on that? And you hear a lot of people talking about socialism, communism nowadays. See, back in the days, they taught us that we were against communism, socialism, dictatorship. And nowadays, they don't teach you that. They're kind of encouraging these type of things. But why would they allow it or even encourage those things? Because that means government has even more control of your life. And that's no freedom to the people. If anybody were to allow the government to restrict their freedoms, some more security, they don't deserve both, because it doesn't work like that. It's we, the people, that made the country what it is today. When this country was founded over 235 years ago, within the first 50 years of our government, we became the #1 exporter of goods throughout the world. We sold everything to the people. And then our country was really prosperous by farming, right? Then we sold all the produce and food to the world. We were the #1 thing within 50 years of freaking everything. But dictatorships, oligarchies, and communist countries always been around for thousands of years. But how come when they gave the people the freedoms and their own country, within 50 years we became the #1 freaking power of the world? How did that happen, and why did it happen? If all those other things always were so great for the people, how come when you gave the people the freedoms and liberties in a country and a lot of rights and to own property and to bear arms, how come when the people had a stake in their livelihood, it prospered more? And we became the United States of America, to become what most Americans think what the American means. But that's because the way things are twisted now, That's because of our neglect to understand what our government was doing and why they're doing it. Okay, see people, I had to move out of the way real quick because the freaking train was coming. And I just want you guys to know is that what's happening to our country, what's happening in all our lives doesn't need to happen. If we understand the problems that we're facing and we investigate for our truth, for ourselves, and understand what they're doing, we could eradicate all this corruption. We could get out all this communism, socialism that infected themselves in our country. But we as Americans have to accept what we've allowed to happen, because as long as we as people are being willing to be bribed or paid off, things will never change. See, we as parents and as grandparents really did a bad job for the next generations of our country. But do we need to leave it the way it is? Do we have to allow it to continuously happen? See, right now in America, there's going to be a day when the system collapses on itself. And there's going to be a group of people that are going to tell you they have the answers. But those are the same people that have implemented what's happening to us today. They're the ones that cause it to happen the way it is. So they're not going to give you the answers. Then there's another group of people that want to get out this corruption. They want to fix the problems. And that was the Tea Party movement. But see, the mainstream media and your politicians, they told you that's not the way to go, because those people are racist freaking wacko jobs. Because they knew those people had the answer. And the answer is your Constitution, your Declaration of Independence. See, there was a reason why your founding fathers came up with that, just the right amount of chemistry of giving the power of the government a very minimum power. Because it was the way to make the people free and to do whatever they want with their lives. That's why it was a melting pot of the world. Would bring anybody, bring all your poor, your weak, everybody. We want them here. Because the diversity is better for people. The competition of the free market system, capitalism, was better for the people. And minimum amount of government was better for the people. But we as people need to put away that freaking left shit. And we need to put away that right shit, your liberals and your conservatives, because we all as people are facing the same thing, that freight train right behind us. It's getting closer and closer to the edge where they're gonna just run you over. But does it need to happen? If you turned around and you seen it coming, wouldn't you want to jump off the tracks? Wouldn't you want to tell everybody, stop, 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 look what's happening, look at the train behind you, jump off the tracks, jump off the tracks. And that's what I'm trying to do. So share the information that you get. Tell everybody, show them the videos. Wake up, America. There's evil shit going on within our country and throughout the world. The uprisings in frickin' Europe and frickin' the Arab countries are coming here. Those same communists and socialists that are doing all that evil shit over there, they infected themselves in our country too. But we have to stomp out those type of things. We have to stop pretending that there's nothing freaking happening and everything's jolly and freaking great because we have our blinders up. Because that's what they want you to do. So I advise you guys, educate yourself, educate your family and your community. There's a video on my homepage, The Fall of the Republic. Watch it. There's another few videos that you really need to watch because you would understand what they're doing and why they're doing it. And some people are going to say, well, what makes you right? Because what I'm saying, you know in your heart, is I'm telling the truth. That's why more and more people watch my videos. Because I'm speaking from the heart and you know what I'm saying is true. I'm not going to lie to you. I have no financial backing. No one's paying me to do what I do. It costs me money to do what I do. But I want to stand up for my freaking country and my children's future. Because as long as I know what I know, I'm not going to let that shit ride. And I'm not going to stay on this track and I'm not going to be led in that direction. So I advise you guys, jump off the freaking track, turn around, look what's happening. Because we face some in our near future. So, like I always tell you guys, man, if you're not going to do everything in your power to restore your life, country, and liberty for all people, you're going to do everything in your power to destroy it. CHARLIEINTHEBOX out.